Welcome viewers, I have something very cool to show to you guys today. Recently I got API access to the new GPT-4 text model by OpenAI, and I'm sure you guys know all about GPT-4 by now. There's many ways that you can use GPT-4 once you get API access to it, and OpenAI's playground is very self-explanatory. It's essentially where you can go to explore and test out all of their different language models. As you can see, there's different modes: complete, chat, insertion mode, edit mode. Now, currently, GPT-4 is only in the chat mode here in Playground, so that's how we're using it today. And of course, this is where you would select your different models, and there's extra settings that you normally wouldn't get with something like ChatGPT. I actually have made a video in the past going through what all of these different settings are, so I'll link that down below for you guys. But essentially, what you can do in the Playground is really explore these models a little bit more deeper than, let's say, just with ChatGPT. So what I've done is I've created a fully working Midjourney prompt creator or prompt enhancer. So in the system box, we can essentially tell it what it is, quote unquote. So we're saying you are an AI image prompt generator for Midjourney. And then over here, we've got a little example conversation for it to add on to, essentially, where I typed in create a prompt about a cat, make it imaginative, use parameters. Or in this case, this is our Midjourney prompt generator using GPT-4, and it says /imagine prompt whimsical cat with galaxy colored fur floating on a cloud surrounded by glowing stars, and then it actually uses the correct Midjourney parameters, and I'll get into how we got that to work. But essentially, this setup allows it to really take any input in here and create a fully working Midjourney prompt. And it's really exciting because it's like a really cool way to use these two AIs together to explore Midjourney's latent space and see all the different kinds of things it could generate that you might never have thought about in the first place. First of all, I'm going to show you guys this whimsical cat generation that it made because it's pretty cool. This is the generation we got out of Midjourney with that prompt. And yeah, honestly, it seems like it knows how to use Midjourney pretty decent because we did get like this whimsical cat floating in the stars in space. It's really quite a fun little experiment here. Out of all of these generations, I gotta say, I really like this one down in the bottom right-hand corner, and then also in the top left. This one's really awesome. Like that, honestly, just straight up looks like a sticker that someone would have on their lunchbox or something like that. It's just like a cool little cat sticker. I love this generation. I'm literally just going to type in the word cows, and let's see if GPT-4 gives us a nice prompt. And yes, it actually did pick up on the way to do this. /imagine prompt serene pasture with a group of contented grazing cows bathing in soft sunlight, --AR 16:9 --S2. So again, it's trying to use these specific Midjourney parameters. In this case, the aspect ratio one and the stylized one. We'll just literally copy the prompt over here, head over onto Midjourney, paste our prompt directly in, and then just hit the enter button. So GPT-4 is kind of just doing all of the work for us. We're giving it one simple idea, which is a cow, and then it's going off and creating this entire prompt. And they're not super advanced so far, I must say, but we can actually experiment with this further and say, oh, I want a long prompt. Oh, give me a prompt that is more photographic. Or, oh, I want this prompt to be like a 2D animation style or something. We'll see how GPT-4 is able to learn how to use Midjourney. So as this is generating, we're going to hop back into the interface, and I'll do a little bit more explaining on my system prompt here because it's a little bit lengthy. So first of all, we give this thing a basic idea of what Midjourney is, just so it has some context to work off of. Then we tell it what it's going to do, which is take a given input idea and output a more creative and enhanced version of that same idea in the form of a fully working Midjourney prompt. And then I go, here is the Midjourney documentation that you need to know. I quite literally pasted the Midjourney documentation off the website right into this system prompt here. Also just explains how to straight up use the /imagine command. We're using Midjourney v5, so not all of your typical Midjourney parameters are even available, so I just gave it kind of the basic three: aspect ratio, negative prompting, and stylization. It doesn't seem to want to use negative prompting that much, which is interesting, but it loves this stylized command. Anyways, let's see what we got for our serene pasture of cows. All right, here, we definitely got a very serene pasture of cows with the light that's supposedly glowing on these cows and bathing them. And yeah, I mean, this is just exactly sort of what I would expect out of the prompt that GPT-4 generated for. Maybe they're a little screwed up, like I'm not sure what's going on with that udder there on that cow, but the rest of the cows look pretty decent. The grass and the pastures all looks very nice, and the trees look nice as well. But yeah, this is a very much an enhanced image, you could say, considering we literally only gave GPT-4 one word, which is cow. So let's go over here. We're now going to give GPT-4 a little bit more context. And you might say to yourself, well, why don't you just type the prompt out yourself if you're going to give it all of this context? Well, actually, there kind of is a learning curve associated with Midjourney. New users aren't really going to be great at trying to create prompts. You can make errors when talking to GPT-4. When you're prompting in Midjourney, if you make an error, it ruins your whole image. So we're going to try to prompt this thing like we're 5 years old. I'm literally saying I want to see a goldfish that is orange and is so big he takes up the whole size of the tank. I also want it to look like a real photo, please. And now we'll see if GPT-4 can just turn this into a prompt that makes more sense to Midjourney. Again, it's not going with a very, very long prompt here, but it did a decent job, I think we could all say. Maybe some more of you Midjourney aficionados can tell us if this is a good result here. All right, here is our Midjourney results for this one. So again, I gave the prompt to it like I was a 5-year-old, and we got some decent enough results. It's not really getting the idea that I was going for here. And yeah, it looks like we need a better prompt out of GPT-4, but I have an idea on how to enhance this thing further. But I gotta say, they all do look like realistic photos, and they all are filling up the tank, that's for sure. Midjourney just didn't realize we wanted a singular goldfish. This is a pretty good little image, though, I will say. So what I think we should do is go ahead and give GPT-4 example of like a perfect prompt. So we're gonna snag a prompt here from the Midjourney website, essentially. So we'll just go ahead and take this ginormous prompt here, put this example prompt into the system, and see if it gets a little bit more understanding of how this is all supposed to work. We'll click the submit button here with the same exact goldfish prompt, and I think it did produce a little bit of a better result here. Photorealistic image of an enormous, vibrant orange goldfish filling up the entire space of its aquarium, giving the appearance of a real photograph. Decided not to use any parameters as well. So we'll give this one a shot real quick, but how about we go back here and say, make the prompt advanced. So we're going to see if we can even juice this up further just by asking it to juice it up further. Okay, now it's sort of getting into more of the territory of prompts with lots of different, I don't know, detailers in here. So again, guys, just for reference, here is the first image that we did with that little goldfish prompt, completely natural language as though a 5-year-old said it, and you know, we definitely got pictures of a goldfish out of Midjourney. It looks pretty good. GPT-4 definitely did something and was able to translate our idea into a good Midjourney prompt, but it wasn't perfect. Here is that second version with a little bit more enhancement. And I gotta say, the little bit more enhancement definitely gave us better images of a goldfish in general. But Midjourney is having a difficult time understanding that the goldfish is like supposed to be bursting out of his tank. I guess like maybe the goldfish is so large, especially in this one, that he's completely exploded the tank and is now pretty much just gonna lay on the ground and gonna flop all the way onto the surface of the home that it lives in, because that's how massive it is. I mean, this is actually giving us some perspective of the goldfish, which is nice. And then these are just nice looking goldfish imagery. Like this one's actually really quite a nice little photo. That's like a wallpaper. And our third and final enhancement here did not really do much better at all. So I think, honestly, this is now coming down to Midjourney's limitations, having a hard time getting a good result out of the prompt that we want and the idea that we want. Let's try this on my classic lemon character prompt. All right, I'm asking it to enhance this prompt. Anthropomorphic lemon character relaxing on the beach wearing a VR headset. I'm also asking it to make it a quote-unquote advanced prompt. Add extra details and make it more creative and unique. GPT-4, don't let us down here. Oh, it is giving us a very, very long one here. Let's see if it gives us parameters at the end of this. No parameters in it. He's accompanied by a quirky pineapple friend wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a straw hat. Sunset casting, soft golden light, 3D digital illustration, whimsical and imaginative scene, cutting edge VR headset. There is a lot going on here. All right. There's quite the prompt enhancement, to say the least. So while that is generating, we're going to go ahead and just ask this thing to create a movie scene. Wow, all right, it is going off here. giving us a lot more detail. Cinematic movie scene, dramatic confrontation between a brave hero and a cunning villain, intense emotions, atmospheric lighting, flying cars, low angle perspective. All right. Really, really cool little prompt idea. Let's give this one a shot. Let's get a little bit weirder with this. Create a prompt that encompasses the feeling of loneliness. Now, this is going to be very, very interesting. It's got to do a lot of creative, imaginative thinking here, and it seems to have done something. Desolate tree standing alone in the center, vast empty field, muted colors, cloudy overcast. All right, we'll see if this is a lonely feeling image. Here is the result for our lemon pineapple prompt. Again, I think this is the result of Midjourney just not really being able to keep up here with all of the different things going on in this very, very specific image that GPT-4 had generated the prompt for. So like the pineapple character is totally mixed up with the lemon character here. He's definitely relaxing on a beach and it's still like a really cool set of images, but you know, it's not able to capture the idea that that lemon character needs to be separate from that pineapple character. Still, we got some pretty cool little fruit characters here, very detailed and sharp imagery here, very well realized though, it's still in a lot of ways. Like the beaches are flawless and pretty much all of these, I think, and I like the drinks here, I like the sunglasses, the lighting and all of that is definitely very, very accurate. So remember, for this one, we simply asked GPT-4 to generate us a Midjourney prompt that just looks like a cinematic movie scene. So I guess this is the hero right in the center here. We definitely got like cars and the neon lights and all of that. It's very cyberpunk. This is supposed to be like a confrontation scene with a villain, according to GPT-4, but that's not exactly what is going on here. So again, this is Midjourney V5. Kind of just struggling to pick up all of the little details and all of the slack on this image. This one came out really cool. Remember, for this one, we simply asked GPT-4 to say, create a prompt that like exhibits the feeling of loneliness. And I think it did a really good job with all of these. Again, we just got like the single desolate tree and this overcast, like sad, lonely just thing. I love this one because of all of the detail in the grass and everything, but I gotta say, this is encompassing the feeling of loneliness, I think. Because this tree looks so lonely, doesn't he? Poor guy. Again, this is another very natural language prompt we're giving to GPT-4. We're saying, take the character of Mario and create a prompt in which he is the villain of the story. So we're really asking it to do a lot here. It needs to take the concept of Mario and figure out how it can be conveyed as him being the villain. It's very interesting just the way we can now communicate with this thing in a natural language way, and it's going to create the imagery for us. Wow, okay, so it's definitely going off here. Dark and sinister version of Mario, iconic video game character depicted as a menacing villain, standing atop a crumbling fortress in a stormy dystopian mushroom kingdom, flames flickering around him, terrorizing helpless citizens below in a dramatic and intense atmosphere. Wow, all right. I have a feeling that the word terrorizing might be blocked by Midjourney, but we'll find out. And while that one is generating, we'll go ahead and do another. This is going to be fun. We're going to ask GPT-4 to invent a new color, and we're going to see if Midjourney can render that color for us. Obviously, you know, we have a limited range of spectrum with our eyeballs, but this is probably going to produce some cool imagery. Wow, guys, it just got really bright in my room. Sometimes you just wonder, is that a meteorite coming to get me? Probably not. All right, so with this one, it just says a mesmerizing, never before seen color. So now it's kind of passing the torch onto Midjourney and say, here, you figure out what the new color is supposed to look like. But it did give it a lot of context, swirling and iridescent hues, cosmic-like pattern, blending harmoniously with vivid and otherworldly shades. Captivating visual experience, evokes a sense of wonder and awe in the observer. All right, now our Mario prompt came out pretty freaking cool. These prompts are almost so advanced by GPT-4 that like Midjourney is really struggling to render them. So obviously this first image here, we've got something that just looks kind of like a twisted and evil Mario. He's got like these red eyes and like this horrible evil castle and everything. And there is fire in the background like the prompt asked for. It's a pretty cool image, nevertheless, here. This one is a little bit more corrupted demon Mario. I'm not even sure what's going on here. There's clearly a face in the middle, though, that sort of resembles Mario. There's lots of skulls around, which I like. But yeah, this one's a little bit less coherent. Down here, though, we have the 2 best results of this prompt. This one is awesome. Like, that is just straight up evil Mario. Like, I don't know what happened to him, but he has been taken over and he has become the villain of the story. Look how jacked he is, too. He's got these giant, menacing, and evil hands, and he's got like this flaming kingdom around him and this horrible swirling storm and everything. There's just smoke and flames. It is awesome. I absolutely love this prompt. GPT-4 did a fantastic job of conveying Mario as the villain of the story. And then this one is pretty decent as well. He's a little bit more ghoulish in this one, but it's clearly supposed to be Mario. He's even got his classic Mario outfit on, but he's got fire in his hands and demon skulls soaring above him. I love how large these characters are. Yeah, this one was fantastic. Just A+ result from both Midjourney and GPT-4 for conveying our idea. And here is our results for the brand new, never before seen color. And these came out pretty cool. I mean, it's just kind of like a swirling little background thing. Yeah, I like it overall. It's a cool little idea. Next up, design a retro future car. Make the aspect ratio the same as a movie. Also make it look like a cinematic movie scene. Very natural prompt. Simple idea. Let's see how GPT does. And it seems to have done a pretty good job. It didn't really do much car design there. It just says retro futuristic car. It does say the car has a sleek and elegant design with chrome accents surrounded by flying vehicles, holographic billboards. It actually screwed up here on the aspect ratio, so we're gonna have to fix it for this thing. And we'll do -AR. All right, so let's see. Now we're really asking GPT-4 to do some heavy lifting here. Combine some famous characters in a unique and interesting way. Very, very basic prompt here. Doesn't have much to go off of. A whimsical illustration of Sherlock Holmes, Alice in Wonderland, and Gandalf gracefully dancing together in an enchanted forest surrounded by fairy tale creatures under a moonlit sky with a magical aura. I'll go ahead and paste this one in. All right, so here is the retro future car that GPT-4 prompted, and I gotta say, it came out pretty decent. It's definitely a retro future design, especially this one right here. This is probably the best generation of the bunch. These ones are a little bit more cyberpunk and less retro future, but nevertheless. All right, here we go. Slow loading there. So this is supposed to be Alice in the Wonderland, Sherlock Holmes, and Gandalf all dancing together in a whimsical illustration. Yeah, I think this prompt was just a little bit too much for Midjourney at the end of the day. It's getting the different characters mixed up and confused. That's definitely supposed to be Alice. I mean, Sherlock Holmes, maybe. Is that Gandalf? Probably not. Maybe that's Gandalf. These are all Gandalf over here on the side of this one. This one's pretty screwed up as well. It just seems like Midjourney is struggling with some of these because there's just so much packed in and going on inside of GPT-4's prompts. Pretty cool though, nevertheless. I mean, I like the design of the illustration. I like the composition of it quite a lot. We're asking GPT-4 to describe itself as if we took a picture of it. Ooh, all right. This is definitely how it thinks of itself. We're going to read this whole thing because we got to know how GPT-4 envisions itself, right, guys? A photograph capturing an AI entity represented as a sleek, modern, metallic humanoid figure with glowing circuit patterns across the surface, standing confidently in a futuristic environment filled with advanced technology and holographic displays. The AI exudes intelligence and helpfulness, surrounded by a soft ambient glow that highlights its form, creating a sense of connection between the subject and the viewer, professionally composed and thoughtfully illuminated to convey the essence of artificial intelligence in a creative and visually appealing way. Now, that is quite the description there, and you can tell GPT-4 thinks very highly of itself here. And one last little twist, we'll say, now describe me. Oh, well, this is a sweet prompt. Thank you, GPT-4. Creative portrait of a charismatic individual, captivating smile, exuding warmth and confidence. Wow, interesting. Captured in a serene outdoor setting. This person radiates positive energy, surrounded by vibrant colors, hints of nature that complement their unique style. Wow. Resonant image that truly represents the essence of the individual. Interesting. Wow, I guess GPT-4 also thinks very highly of us viewers. All right, folks, here we go. This is what GPT-4 envisions itself as. Wow, I mean, that's definitely an AI humanoid figure. This one is pretty good right here. Very coherent. I like the background and everything, too. That's a very unique image. The rest of these are still pretty good as well. This one's a little creepy with all like the weird AI tendrils hanging around his arms and stuff like that. And then this one is decent enough as well. But yeah, they're all pretty cool and very unique. They definitely exude confidence. And they're a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if this guy walked up to me and said, "Hey, I'm GPT-4, how you doing?" I would be freaked out. This is like, take your baseball bat out and protect yourself kind of frightening, to be honest. But it's a very cool image, so good job, GPT-4. And apparently this is what GPT-4 thinks of us. We're all just a young woman hanging out outside in nature. I really like this painting one, by the way. This is a pretty cool one. But yeah, we're all just kind of chilling in the fall time with the sunlight and all that. So pretty interesting. This is what GPT-4 thinks of humans prompting. Well, viewers, let me know what you guys think of this video down in the comments below. Is this an interesting concept? I know a lot of you are going to say here, you're just lazy. Why don't you just want to prompt Midjourney yourself? Doesn't that take away from the creativity of it? I'm not saying that we should replace regular prompting by using this method. I'm just interested really in pushing the boundaries of the GPT-4 language model and seeing if it can learn a complex task like prompting itself. I think this is a cool idea because one day we want to have that holodeck experience where we say, oh, paint me an image of this, or I want to be in this type of environment, and it has to do a lot of filling in the gaps and thinking for you in that future. And that is kind of the technology we need, is this thing of, oh, we need to add this kind of detail here, we need to add this kind of detail here, we need to do a lot of the heavy lifting for this person if they just say they want to be on a relaxing beach. So yeah, interesting concept and thought. I'll link the prompt down below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.